My dear fellow listeners and viewers, today I would like to take the opportunity to share with you a few examples of decency. And I'm doing the video for a reason, obviously. When it comes to decency and so on, people tend to put that at the side, put it, at the back burner, just so that they can do, whatever they do, so to speak. So generally speaking, in this modernized world, in this fast-paced world, in this world of freedom and all of that, decency is not something we pay attention to. And so here are a few examples, of a few reminders, by the way, of decency, and something we all should be mindful of. And so the first one is to never tell a lie. So basically, decency means that we should always speak the truth. It can be hard to do because sometimes we tend to tell a lie to defend, ourselves, or defend, somebody we know, or defend the situation and things of that sort. It happens all the time. We see it live, all the time. People are very dishonest, and so it's not it's not a good thing, really, right? And so when we talk about decency and so on, we have to be able to speak the truth and don't lie, right? People do it because they just don't care about decency, and these are all little important things, because one thing can lead to the other. A little lie, we can do here and there, and then it can lead to bigger things. Another example of decency will be have respect for other people, meaning that things that we don't like for ourselves, and we should not, put on other people, right? If we don't like certain things, if we don't like to be treated a certain way, we should not be treating people, that kind of way, right? So we want to make sure that we are being respectful of others as well too. So kind of be aware of our surrounding, right? And so another example of decency will be doing good for others as well too. Obviously, some of us are in better situation than some. It is what it is sometimes, and life is like that, right? Sometimes we are going to be in a better situation than other people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're just going to ignore people, right? So a human decency, it's a unique thing, right? And so doing good for somebody when you are in a situation to do so is a beautiful thing, right? And it's a perfect example of what decency is all about. So for example, if you're in a position where you have a full meal, or you can afford to have 3 meals per day, you can afford certain things in life, but let's say your neighbor cannot afford all of that, maybe you should consider to see how you can help them along. Not necessarily continuously feed them, because it's not a good system. Try to find a way to try to figure out why is it that they're that in that situation in the first place, right? So kind of care for others a little bit. It's not a bad thing. And another example of decency will be to treat other people fairly. What that means is you do not want to knowingly favor one person over the other. It happens all the time. There's a reason why they have policies in place. All of these things are they realize there is a reason why people continuously try to make improvement around that area. But we live in a society though where people will favor one person over the other. People will favor one group over the other, and things of that sort. And if we do those kinds of things, it means that there's no human decency there, and some people just don't care. Absolutely, right? And so I think that um, people who care about their own personal well-being, and make sure that they are carrying themselves professionally to the best of their ability, will really keep a conscious mind when it comes to to decency, and represent themselves well, not only in a home setting, but in the community, at the church, in the public, out there kind of thing, and behind the scenes as well too. That's what a good human being does. So the message here is really to kind of be conscious of what decency is, right? Because sometimes we do things and not realizing, right? But it can affect ourselves, it can affect our surrounding and so on. So I hope that you get this message. I hope that you find it fruitful. And I get it that obviously you have heard of all of this. This is not something new, but it is more of the reminder of to kind of know that, these are things that we need to keep a conscious mind of. And so that way, decency can be something that we practice every day. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. My name is Narine Dat Sookram, wishing you a great today and even a better tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon.